How can I help?
We've already been over this. It was a moment of weakness, a stumble brought on by unbridled passions. But my emotions are firmly in check once more. We need to stay focused on stopping Darth Malak, and I want the others to stay focused as well. I don't want them to get suspicious and start gossiping about our little encounter. So until our mission is over, we need to act with discretion. We shouldn't speak of this anymore. Not until Malak is defeated.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Taris was my home for many years. As much as I hated it, it was still home. A rat hole, a warren, a paradise. I suppose you could call it all these things. For me, it was hell. You have no idea what it is like to have to live there for years. To walk down the streets, to have people look at you in disgust, like an animal. Most did not know anything about me, but it was there, all the same. Because I was an alien. Because I was different from them. Frightening. I doubt any of them had even seen my people before. So they persecuted me. They looked down on me and my family. Charged us more for food. Would not let us walk their streets. They spat on us. You are human. You could not possibly know. That is true, I suppose. But it is much more obvious for someone like me. There were no other Cathar on Taris. No one to talk to, no one to confide in. But you must think me weak for saying this. But I am strong enough to admit it. I thank you for your concern, but maybe I am weak. To think that some stories of my stupid past could possibly interest you. I thank you. You are kinder than I would have expected to put up with me using you in this way. I hope that I will not use your time so badly in the future. Thank you.
Got something on your mind, do you? No, I never did I? Elusive? Me elusive? Obviously, you've never tried to grab a Twi'lek dancing girl after drinking too much Onderan Willick juice. At any rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on. To bed! I'm old and tired, you know. How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I'd bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters in the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask? There. Now was that so hard? An old man has to be allowed some petty eccentricities. Nice to see you agree for once. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but be intrigued. Of course not. Weren't you listening last time? I can see that you have a destiny before you, but the details are far from clear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off. As if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick. Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. That can't be all bad. Know me, Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day. Nonsense. Have I ever refused to help you when you asked? How confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? You're too young to be so talkative. Shoo! Shoo!
Yeah, what do you want? Your choice.
Hey there, what can I do for you? I appreciate everything you've done for Griff. You know that, right? I just hope things work out for him this time around. I guess we'll find out when he meets up with us at the Zerka Corp shop. If he's got those credits he promised you, then maybe there's hope for him yet.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerka Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? Farewell.
I don't like the sound of this.
Chiwak aita karki na jupornibo kun muliras nimo poiwanga tangit mamaji human act in ikatune. Topa na oto vakasa pampa ki mulira kun king changwaba chinyo shangwi chama ucha wish uyong kun. Just cranky to patslimo, chi itakanki chana kilikon. Kimba muli radwanaji, kimba no kunikset abog. Just cranky to patslimo, chi itakanki chana kilikon. Kimba muli radwanaji, kimba no kunikset abog.
Damn it, Griff, won't you ever learn? How can my own flesh and blood be so stupid?
Chiwak aita kang kicha na jupornipo. Kun muliras nimo poiwanga tangit mamaji human act in ikatune.
Hey there, what can I do for you? I want to thank you for helping me with Griff. You did everything you could for my brother, more than most people would have. I know it might look like it didn't make any difference in the end. Griff's in debt and on the run like usual. But at least I know we tried to help him. I know people can change no matter how bad they were, but I'm not holding my breath. None of us is perfect, but I've come to realize that Griff is a little less perfect than most. My brother is what he is, but I've learned to deal with that. I'll never forget that he looked after me when I was just a kid, but I don't feel like I owe him anything anymore. I've made my peace with Griff and what he means to me. If he ever shows up again, I'll deal with him. But I'm not gonna dwell on my brother anymore. It's time to move forward. So, is there anything else you need? Okay, have it your way.
Got something on your mind, dude? Did I say that? Strange the tricks memory plays on you when you get older. Didn't I say that my past was my affair? You don't see me poking and prodding you with questions, do you? I'm not here to satisfy your curiosity. No staring at the old man, that's what the sign says, damn it. And besides, you don't really want to hear about me. We're talking ancient history, probably before you were born. History bores kids. Proven fact. Oh, fine, fine. Have it your way. Just don't cry about it later. Yes, I was an adventurer. Happy now? I wasn't even done with my Jedi training back then. I had a full head of hair and an eagerness to see absolutely everything. Sound familiar? The Council was never happy with willful, brash Jolie Bindo, you see. Even less so when I began my smuggling career. Don't look at me like that, damn it. I wasn't always the wrinkled coat I am now, you know. I can still fight, too. So wipe off that smirk I see there. At the time, the Yukata system was interdicted by its own king. He preferred to keep his people starving and poor, all the better to oppress them. The Senate was trying to negotiate a peace, but they were getting nowhere as usual. I decided I wasn't going to wait. I found myself a ship and a partner, and we began smuggling food and supplies to the Yukata citizenry through the blockade. Oh, it was. I was a half-decent pilot in those days, and with the Force guiding me, we made it through some tough spots nobody else would have. Pilot, smuggler, several other things too. Or did you suppose I was always a crotchety hermit? Well, we didn't buy all the equipment per se. Some were happy to donate goods. Some we just, knew had more than they could use. Stole is such a harsh word. They would have donated those goods readily enough if they were compassionate. I considered it a tax on the greedy. We only got caught once. A lone Yukatish frigate shot us down and forced a crash landing. I thought the Force had abandoned me, as I remember. Well, as it happens, getting shot down turned out to be very fortunate. That day was the day Well, that was the day I met my wife. You know another way to get a wife? But yes, that's when I met her. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to stop talking now. My mouth is starting to draw flies. Got something on your mind, dude? Oh, I get...
Now. Trent.
got something on your mind, do you? I don't want to talk about that. Maybe, but I doubt it. I'm made stubborn that way. Got something on your... I don't... Now that's a unique method of getting someone to talk. Thunder about like a bantha in a circuit shop. Does that work for you often? Let me tell you something. Once you've lived as many years as I have, you'll have yourself a long, long list of memories. If you're lucky, most of them will be good. If you're not, some will be bad. If you're really unlucky, some will be so bad you'll never want to be reminded of them again, ever. You'll go far away to a place that doesn't hold any memories at all. And there you'll be happy just to forget and be forgotten. You say that now, but I'm talking to you from across the breadth of many years' experience. That is a gap I simply can't cross for you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in love? Truly in love, I mean, and not simple infatuation. Exactly. You're still at the beginning of your life. There will be women in your life, perhaps many women. But if you're fortunate, you'll find love once. The Jedi, with their damnable sense of over-caution, would tell you love is something to avoid. Thankfully, anyone who's even partially alive knows that's not true. Love doesn't lead to the dark side. Passion can lead to rage and fear, and can be controlled. But passion is not the same thing as love. Controlling your passions while being in love, that's what they should teach you to beware. But love itself will save you, not condemn you. Listen to me go on as if I had all the answers. What do I know of love anymore? I'm just a lonely old man who's not even a Jedi. You do you? I wouldn't listen too closely. I'm no authority on anything. I just think that the greatest things in life shouldn't be avoided because they come with a few complications. Love causes pain, certainly. Inevitably, love is going to lead to as much sorrow and regret as it does joy. I suppose there are perfect, eternal loves out there, but I haven't seen any. And how do you deal with the bad part of love is what determines your character. What determines the dark side's hold over you. I haven't changed my mind. I'm still not going to talk about it. You go and find your own love if you want to know so badly. I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you and the one you love simply aren't meant to be together. The trick is to know when that is. To know when it's time to fight and when it's time to part ways. There I go, waxing philosophical again. Somebody blast me already. Let's get going before I start talking in riddles, damn it.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course. If there is anything else, I am here to help.
How can I help? Then I suggest... You felt it, yes? Another vision? The Force continues to work through us, showing us the star maps unearthed by Reverend Malak. It is strange that anyone would have built a star map here. The entire surface of Manaan is covered by nothing but vast oceans. The ocean floor is vast, and much of it is uncharted, even by the native Selkath. But how could Revan and Malak have found their way down? No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location. How can I help? Then I suggest...
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course.
Got something on your mind? Who said I left the Jedi? Well, technically I was only a Padawan. Not that that makes a difference to most, but as for the Order itself, no, I never left it. It left me. You know what I hate? Well, lots of things really, but I'm old and easily annoyed, but that's besides the point. What I really hate are how most people view the Jedi. Everyone thinks that the Jedi are perfect, that they can do no wrong. They think the Jedi Council is completely incapable of injustice. I guess you aren't as stupid as you sometimes act. No doubt you've been on the receiving end of Jedi justice at least once, eh? And I'm not even talking about how some of us fall to the dark side. No, that's plenty indication of our fallibility. But it's something else entirely. No, I'm talking about how more than often not, your average robe-wearing Jedi can try to do the right thing and still be completely wrong. No, the Jedi always treated me well. It would be foolish and untrue to say otherwise. That's not what I meant anyway. Come to think of it, I don't have to be clear. Someone my age is entitled to ramble, damn it. But for your sake, I'll try to explain. I'll tell you a little tale about a Jedi master I once knew. Hortath, I think. Or was it Hortoth? I can never get it straight. Where was I then? Oh yes, Master Hortath. He was a kindly old Jedi who meant well, but the most nearsighted thing in the Corps, I swear. He would walk into walls, knock over tables, mistake apprentices for rancor beasts, that sort of thing. And he was too proud to submit to proper treatment. Some used to counsel him and urge to use the Force, Master Hortath. Allow the Force to see for you. But he refused to believe that his eyes were failing. He simply squinted more and more as the years went on, the other Jedi resignedly passing it off as the amusing quirk of a compassionate old man. I'm not finished yet. Now shush! So, one day a young Padawan meets Master Hortath in the courtyard and, not knowing of his blindness, asks him for directions to the council. Quite sure of himself, Hortath gave the lad directions, which happened to lead back outside and away from the Enclave. The Padawan is confused, naturally, and he asks if Master Hortath is sure, and of course Master Hortath says that he is. The Padawan suggests that perhaps he should ask someone else, but the proud Hortath now feels insulted. He tells the Padawan to take the route he prescribed and no other. Rather dejectedly, the Padawan did as he was told, and so ended up leaving the Jedi Order forever. It was decided that the boy's fate was to leave the Order anyway, though whether that was out of respect for Hortath or because the boy went on to something else, well, we'll never know. No, both of them were from before my time. Well before the Sith Wars, even. The tale is about blindness, and I thought the point was clear. At any rate, you think about it. You're the one who asked why the Jedi left me, remember? Now let's get going. My feet are itching for a good run. Got something on you? Oh.
You Republic people are so pathetic, sitting around groveling at the table scraps the galactic senators deign to give you. It makes me sick.
The senators work for the good of the whole galaxy, not for individual gain.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, you gutless simp. It's the destiny of weak-minded fools like you to be ruled over by the strong, like we Sith.
I'm warning you. Don't push me or you'll get just what you're asking for.
Try it. Just try it. I'd love to see you throw the first punch. And with all the cameras around, the Selkath would be all over you inside of 30 seconds. You break their laws. You pay the price, Republic scum. But I can see that you're not man enough to back up your words anyway. If you ever feel like relieving yourself of your worthless existence, feel free to come by our enclave here. We have many, many ways to fulfill your wish.
Yeah, what are you... Oh, I apologize, Master Jedi. I should not have been rude. No, really, I should apologize. I should try to control myself, as you Jedi do. Is there anything I can help you with? Well, these damn Sith are everywhere on Manaan, pushing us Republic citizens around, trying to goad us into breaking the law somewhere. Yeah, the Selkath want to maintain their neutrality in this war we're fighting with the Sith, and they enforce it very strictly. So we just have to sit here and let the Sith insult us, and we can't raise a hand against them. Otherwise, the Republic will face severe Kolto export restrictions, and that could lose us the war altogether. You're joking, right? I'm sorry, but everyone knows what Kolto is. It's the most powerful healing agent in the galaxy. I would have died several times myself if we didn't have this stuff handy. But the reason it's important here is that Kolto is only found naturally on Manaan, and all of our attempts to synthesize it have failed miserably. So, we sit here on the surface, the Selkath harvesting what Kolto bubbles up from the bottom of the ocean, and we buy it from them. Well, us and the Sith, of course. The Selkath don't want to play favorites. The Selkath think that by staying neutral, they can play both sides, selling Kolto to everyone that needs it, and making themselves too valuable to be worth conquering. Well, that, and they threaten to destroy the only natural source of Kolto on the planet if anyone tries to attack them. But I think they're underestimating the length the Sith will go to get what they want. They're probably planning something already. Is there anything else you require? Of course. If you have any other questions, you should probably see Roland Wan. He's the Republic diplomat here. He's by the Republic Enclave near the visitor residences. Oh, if you don't know where that is, go north from here, then south past the port official in the first courtyard, east into the second courtyard, then north, then east again. You got that? Have a pleasant stay, Master Jedi.
Carth Onesi, is that you?
Jordo?
It is you, isn't it? I knew it when I laid eyes on you. You old space dog. How have you been? I thought for sure you'd be fighting on some ship out there.
I was. I crashed.
That's pretty rich. I can't imagine what it would take to keep you on the ground. Must have something to do with your friend here, eh? How's it going?
So what are you doing here, Jordo? Last time I saw you was on, Telos, actually.
Yeah, it's a shame about home. Telos still hasn't recovered. The family and I moved on, and I'm working for Zerka now. I didn't see you after... what I mean is, my condolences on your wife. I heard what happened. At least your boy made it through all right.
My boy? You mean Dustle?
Yes, of course. I saw him at my last stop on Korriban, though he didn't recognize me. You didn't know he was there?
No. Jordo, Dustle's been missing since the attack on Telos. Are you absolutely certain it was him?
Yeah, I'd recognize Dustle anywhere. Positive. He's joined the Sith, Garth.
What do you mean he's joined the Sith?
There's an academy for the Sith on Korriban. He's a student there. I saw him suited up in their outfit and everything. Sorry, I thought you knew.
No, I didn't. Well, thanks for telling me, Jordo.
Sure, no problem. Good to see you again, Carth. Hope everything works out with Dustle.
Dustle? Dustil is alive. We have to go to the Korriban Academy and find him. Thank you. I just have to see him. I have to know what happened to him. All this time I thought he was... I mean, he must be a man by now. No problem. Didn't work.
Chichopa, Tumba Muli Wanaji, Chiska Nichu, Kuyami, Juski, Chika Nai, Hako Chichopa, Hava, Uba.
I was told that you're a friend of Jolie Bindo, and that Jolie has returned to the sector. Please, I must speak to him. It's very urgent. My name is Alora. My husband, Sunry, and Jolie are old friends. Now Sunry needs Jolie's help. Please, I beg you to bring Jolie to speak to me about my husband. Sunry's life depends on it. Jolie, it is you. I need your help.
Laura, of all the people, how did you even know I'd left Kashyyyk?
I didn't. Nobody knew where you were, not even Sunry. But I heard the Selkath mention you and your friends. The Force has brought you to help us.
Why? Whatever could be the matter, my dear?
It's horrible, Jolie. Sunry has been arrested. The Sith have accused him of murder.
Murder? But how?
It's all a mistake, Jolie. Sunry isn't a murderer. Someone is trying to frame him.
Calm down, Alora. Where's Sunry now?
Sunry's being held at the Selkath courts. They won't let anyone in to see him. Please, go to the courts. Talk to the judges. Maybe the Selkath will listen to you.
Don't worry, Alora. We'll get to the bottom of this and help Sunry. Somehow.
So, do we have a deal?
That's an awful lot of money. Is there something you're not telling me?
Don't be so suspicious. The Republic is generous. We pay our mercenaries well.
Makes sense, I guess. All right, I'm in. When do I start?
Just show up at the Republic Embassy tomorrow and speak to our representative there. I'm sure he'll have some task he wants you to start on right away. Do you mind? I'm in the middle of a Republic recruiting drive right now. I need to hire these mercenaries before they sign up with the Sith. In case you hadn't noticed, there's a war on. If we don't hire these mercs, the Sith will. Now, excuse me. I have to continue my recruitments. Do you mind? I'm in... I don't know if you've got what we're looking for. Jedi aren't generally suited to mercenary work. If you want, talk to Roland Wan at the Republic Embassy and see if he can find anything for you. It's north of here, just east past the first courtyard. It's just off the north end of the second courtyard. You can't miss it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to continue my recruitments.
The Republic respects the peace of Otto City, Your Honor. But the Sith are a violent people who leave violence in their wake. I have 3 soldiers in the infirmary.
If the Republic soldiers were more capable, they would not have suffered such serious injuries.
Are my soldiers to be punished simply because they won a fair fight?
I hardly call 6 against 3 a fair fight. The Sith are cowards who attack only when they have the advantage of numbers. They were provoked, Your Honor. The Sith goaded them into this fight. If it weren't for the Republic, Manaan would already be under Sith control. But we haven't heard one word of thanks from the Selkath.
Manaan should treat us Sith better. Their day of reckoning approaches. The Selkath have forgotten the lesson of Taurus. Perhaps we should remind them.
I suppose you're Sunry's only hope. We have to at least try to help him. Yes, but it almost seems too heavily stacked, doesn't it? Very suspicious. Speaking of that injury, has it been taken into consideration, Your Honor? Simply because it was real does not mean Sunry would have overlooked it being in Elas's hand.
The Republic believes in justice, as do you. We just want Sunry to be fairly treated, that's all.
Yes?
Sure.
When I get out of here, you're dead!
I'll gut your fishy little corpse, cut off your head, and bathe in your blood!
Jolie, what are you doing here? Laura sent me, Summary. I'm here to get you out of this mess. The courts went and made us arbiters for your case.
Just like old times, eh, Jolie? You come swooping in out of nowhere to save my tail from the fire?
You saved my wrinkle butt more than a few times as well, friend, if I recall. But there'll be time for catching up later. Right now, we need to focus on the case.
The case is a complete frame-up. Anyone looking at the evidence could see that. Or so I thought. But the Cellcath seem to think that there's enough to go to trial. There aren't any witnesses. All that evidence against me is circumstantial and completely flawed. Well, I was at the hotel, I admit. And I did meet Eliza there that night, but it's not what you think. I was working with Republic Intelligence. We were pretending to feed information to the Sith. Well, I turned Eliza into a double agent working for us. It was going well, too, until she turned up dead. Maybe the Sith had found out I was turning her and had her eliminated. But let's look at the facts they've given. Eliza was brutally killed. Think about that. She was a Sith, trained in battle, and I'm just a crippled old man. My war injuries make it difficult for me to walk, even to hold things. See how my hands are shaking? How could I kill a Sith warrior at close quarters? I ask you! Further, they say they found my hero's cross at the crime scene. Would I leave my war medal behind if I killed someone? Even I'm not that stupid. Obviously, the Sith planted the cross. And what about the lack of forensic evidence? Skin and hair samples, clothing fibers. Why isn't there anything like that at the crime scene? Sounds like an obvious frame-up to me. I hope you can see how the Sith are manipulating the Cellcath, and probably even you to set up this against me. We need to get this over with quickly and clear my name. Anything else I can help you with? I want my arbiter to be well prepared before we go to trial. Guess you could interview witnesses at the hotel where the murder happened. The Cellcath already did that, but the fish folk don't have much rapport with offworlders. Maybe one of them was holding something back. But I think you'd be better off investigating the Sith themselves. Maybe you could find some proof they planted evidence to frame me. Though that might mean figuring out a way into the Sith embassy. Anything else I can help you with? I want my arbiter to be well prepared before we go to trial. Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing to hide. How would they know? They weren't there. I heard some of the witnesses said that too, but I swear she was alive when I left. I wonder if the Sith have been putting pressure on people to get them to convict me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They've had it in for me since the war. You should ask everyone about that. They might admit to helping the Sith under pressure. Very well. I suppose there is still much you must do before the trial. Once you've gotten enough evidence to go to trial, just tell the warden we're ready. The sooner I get out of the cell, the better.
I'm uncomfortable with spying on the Republic. But if we could assure the Selkath that they mean no harm, then perhaps it might be worth it.
I hope you're here to play some Pazak. So clear.
We might have a position within the Sith organization for one such as you.
Your offer is pretty good, but I've heard some nasty things about you, Sith. Is it true you bombed Taris into dust?
This is war. In war, certain distasteful acts cannot be avoided. But ask yourself this, when we win the war, would you rather be against the Sith or with us?
You make a good point. And I've never turned down a job that pays up front.
Excellent. Report to the Sith Embassy tomorrow for your assignment. I have no desire to speak to you. I know you have links to the Republic.
You hiring for the Republic or the Sith? Then why are you wasting my time? There's big money to be made here. I can't risk missing a job offer because I'm yapping with you.
You're new around here, aren't you? My name's Duan. Care to buy a Sith girl a drink? That is, unless you're one of those simpering Republic soldiers. What is there to investigate? Obviously Sanri is guilty, but the Republic is doing everything they can to keep him out of a Selkath prison. But I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm just here to have a couple of drinks and try to unwind. You know? We Sith are interested in a lot of things. If you're smart, you'll stay out of Sith business. But I don't really want to talk about that right now. I'm just here to have... Oh, I get it. I get a little bit wild. Come on, what's the matter? Afraid I'll drink you under the table? Hey, if you're not man enough to keep up, who needs you? Seems I'm not ladylike enough for some men. Well, I may be a woman, but I'm still a soldier. Barkeep, bring me another round.
Hey man, clear out. You're cramping my style with the ladies.
Republic's days are numbered. It won't be long until Malak turns his armada loose on Coruscant itself.
Save your empty threats, Sith scum. Malak isn't stupid enough to attack the core worlds, now with the entire Republic fleet waiting for him.
You're a fool. When the Sith descend on Coruscant, our numbers will block out the sun itself. The galactic senators will collapse trembling in fear and beg for mercy at Malak's feet.
You underestimate the Republic's resolve. We'll die before we surrender Coruscant.
That can be arranged. Remember what happened to Taris. Malak could do the same to the core worlds.
He wouldn't dare.
Now it is you who underestimate our resolve.
How much for all this stuff, Tyvark? Thanks, Tyvark. Catch you next week.
Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki inko. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong nawabakaon, pichage boran. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune, tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji ak. Diska dosoki, kopa bono nakachi, labora na winki smaktom. Kakinja nawabakaon, pichage boran turang. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Un mulira chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Chua penti. Yun patisa. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Tong hitwama aki inko. Chiwi aita ka chong. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna mulira. Diska dosoki, kopa bono nakachi. Labora na winki smaktoma. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki inko tu. Tong panokun, not. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. Un Opa na otobokasa. Chua penti, yun pati. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki inko. Diska dosoki, kopa bono nakachi. Labora na winki smakta. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki inko. Diska dosoki, kopa bono nakachi. Labora na winki smaktoma. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama ji aki inko. Chiwa aita kan kicha na chupornibo. kun mulia chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama chiwa aita kang kicha na jupornibo. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi chiwa aita kang kicha na jupornibo. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Tong palokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki mulira kukin. Kimba no konik bota. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami jusku chitanai. Uchua penki. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Tong palokun non diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami jusku chitanai. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Tong palokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki mulira kunkin. Kimba no konik. Diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami jusku chitanai. Tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Tong palokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ki diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu. Labora na winki snack toma. Kuyami jusku tong hitwama aki inko tune. Potong hitwama aki inko tune. Tong palokun nonek. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha.
Hey, this street is for Sith only. You gotta pay a 20 credit toll to walk down this street. behind the Selkath laws. Typical Republic cowards.
You got any armor plating for my spook bike? I thought this garbage was free. You actually sell this junk? Don't worry, junk man. When I want garbage,
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mo.
Sure. Yes?
Welcome to Manaan. I'm Roland Wan. As the official representative of the Republic Embassy on this planet, I'm here to help all citizens of the Republic should they require aid. Kolto is a precious resource. Its healing powers are near miraculous. During times of war, Kolto becomes even more valuable. As long as we have the permits, we will continue to harvest Kolto and ship it to our Republic soldiers battling against the Sith. Of course, the Sith enjoy the very same privileges. If there was some way we could gain an edge over the Sith in our Kolto supply, but the Selkath are fiercely protective of their neutrality in this conflict. They do not want to grant either side an advantage. I don't know much about the facts of the case, but I find it hard to believe. I never met Sunry, but he's a hero of the Republic, not a murderer. The so-called evidence against him is an obvious frame-up. It has to be. The Sith must have plotted Sunry's downfall to embarrass and discredit the Republic. If you want to solve this mess, I would focus on the Sith. That or check out the murder scene at the hotel. Talk to the other guests. Maybe they know something. I regret I could not be of more assistance in your investigation. Is there anything else? A beautiful place, Sato City. A paradise on the water. But remember, within the city itself, the Selkath have absolute authority. They're a tough race, but fair. Obey the Selkath laws, keep the peace, and you should encounter no problems. I assume you received a visitor guide to the city when you docked your ship. I regret there is little I can tell you that's not in the visitor guide, my good Jedi. My duties rarely permit me to venture beyond the walls of the Republic Embassy. Oh, of course I'll do whatever I can. But I'm only a simple diplomatic representative of the Republic. I doubt I can be of any use to the Jedi Council. An ancient and forgotten race. And you think it may be here on Manaan? Well, perhaps. But if you want to get information about that, you'll have to do something for me first. We were using a submersible reconnaissance droid in the ocean surrounding Ahto City, and it was damaged. It took a data recording of the outside of the city before being driven off by the Faraxan sharks, but while it was returning to the surface, it encountered difficulties and was disabled. Its automatic systems floated it to the surface, but we could not retrieve it in time. The Sith were applying subtle pressure to the Selkath authorities for some reason we've not determined, and were able to delay us long enough that they could retrieve the droid before we did. The droid's data centers are heavily encrypted, so it will take the Sith several days, we believe, to get to its data. It was captured 12 hours ago. It is imperative that we get it back. It's heavily guarded, we're sure, in the Sith embassy here on Manaan. Since we have no remaining soldiers to spare, and certainly not our elite ones, we have no one capable of entering the Sith base and retrieving it. That is what we would ask you to do. There are several leads we've been working on to get into the Sith base. Any of them should work for you, although it might be wise to concentrate your efforts on just one. The first method that's possible is to help us interrogate a Sith prisoner we managed to catch after he tried to infiltrate our base. He's being held just inside our enclave. We think he may be able to give us the passcode that the Sith give their informers to enter the base. He has proved most resilient so far. We managed to pick up a crate of blank Sith data cards, the type they use for passcards. The encryption system to unlock them is very difficult, however. But if you are more skilled than our technicians, you may be able to gain access that way. The Sith have got the Selkath to give them exclusive use of one of the main hangar bays. Visiting Sith Masters use this bay to land, then take a speeder over the water to an external entrance to the Sith Enclave. The luckless spy we mentioned earlier had a pass card to that hangar on him. While it is surely well guarded, it may prove to be the most direct route. Here's the card. The Sith base itself is very heavily guarded. If they became aware of your presence, I fear you would be quickly outnumbered and killed. Here is a pass card to get you inside our facility. You should find all you need to get started in there. You can choose whichever of the methods you want, as long as you get in the base and get the data recording back. Which method do you think you would like to try first? Good call. Just make sure you don't push him too hard or we might lose him. I wish you luck in your task. Should you retrieve the data recording from the droid, return it here to me, and we can see about getting you that information.
So you're the one who's gonna try to get into the Sith base, eh? Huh, good luck, you're gonna need it. This is our main computer room here. We got the box of passcards we got from the Sith, but we haven't been able to break their encryption yet. We have been able to decode the numeric system they use, but there are holes in our terminal sequence patterns. The encryption system is composed of 6 matrices. Each is based on a mathematical method. The holes we're missing are the final number in each of the strings. Most are simple, but the final 2 matrices seem to be much more difficult. The second last matrix has a pattern looping back on itself, or something. And the last is divided into smaller subparts. Maybe the pattern for that is within each part. But I have to admit, all this is a bit over my head. I haven't even been able to slice past the first matrix, and I've been at this for hours. I've ruined a dozen cards already. But the good thing is we have a whole box of them, so you don't have to worry about running out anytime soon. Since Roland said you were cleared, you can use the computer freely. I'll be here if you have any questions.
So, you're the one Roland has got to help us interrogate this prisoner. I hope your Jedi powers will come in useful. This one has been most resistant. He's a Sith spy we picked up a little while ago, snooping around outside trying to get in. We thought he was suspicious and brought him inside when the Selkath weren't looking. But it seems the Sith have done a pretty good job of conditioning this guy, and we haven't been able to break him yet. The Sith protect their really important spies with some sort of mental force feedback system. They can turn their minds in on themselves, so force compulsions won't affect them. Combine this with conventional training to resist interrogation, and sometimes it takes months to get them to tell what they know. Do you want to interrogate him now? While the training the Sith gave him will protect him from most normal interrogation techniques, and also from force persuasion, we have found a few hooks you might find useful. He was with another man when he was first spotted. We think it was another spy, but we didn't manage to catch him. We also seized some personal documents he had on him when he was captured. It would seem that he's married to a woman named Tila. We checked this in our computers, and it seems to hold up. We've sent a couple of agents to investigate, but it may be a while. What we have here is your standard issue truth serum. It should make him spill his guts in no time. But there is a catch. Because of his conditioning, he's able to resist it at small doses. But if you give him too much, his body realizes what you're trying to do and shuts his mind down completely. If you do that, you'll have to inject him with an antidote that neutralizes the truth serum. Unfortunately, that too has a drawback. It causes short-term memory loss. This may work to your advantage because you can try the same tactic over and over again. But if you use it too much, he may forget everything we want to know. Shall we get it started then? Hey you, wake up. Someone wants to talk to you.
What do you want? Tila. How did you find out about her? Yes, it could be so much easier. What do you want? What companion?
Of course, they would never believe we let you go so easily, but they would all too happily believe you betrayed them.
All right. I'll tell you what you want to know.
What's the passcode to the Sith base?
It's Zeta 245698 Alpha. Just no more.
Good. With this pass, you should be able to get into the Sith base without trouble. Just don't delay too long, or they might learn that he's been captured.
Have you managed to retrieve the data from our droid in the Sith base? Time is a critical factor. We cannot allow the Sith to decode that data recording, or our...
You're the one defending Sunry now, huh? Well, the hotel's open for you. And I guess I gotta answer any questions you want, too. The Sith woman, Elasa, rented a room in the hotel. An hour or two later, Sunry comes in and goes to her room. A couple hours later, I hear a blaster shot and see Sunry running. He can't run good because he's a cripple, but he still was going pretty fast. I would swear he started after the shot, though. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure he left after the shot went off. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, just barely. But I wouldn't say that to the court. No way I'm lying to the court just because you want to get your Republic... What do you want to know? Elasa used to rent rooms here every week or so. Then Sunry would come by a couple hours later and stay all night. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what was going on. There were only 2 other people in the hotel when it happened. One was a Rhodian named Gloopor. Seems like a really dirty, shifty type. Normally I don't let his kind in here. I'm a reputable businessman, you know. But there weren't many people here, so I decided to take a chance. The other is a regular named Firith Me. He's a Pazak player. Probably an addict, but he claims he's big in some circles. Don't know anything about him other than that. Anything else you want to know? Well, okay. If you need anything else, I'm gonna be right here.
Chiki kun salkat, Jona Mulira. Glupor tong hit wanaji salkat agi inko tune glupor. Glupor yon tung chiwi ita. Bola jikne mulira glupor. Glupor kinbanik chalora kun. Glupor chi ita kanki chana kilikon. Glupor nibo jimata wipun. Glupor tong hit wamaji salkat agi inko tune. Glupor bijage borang turang. Glupor wangki yumabat malyaw. Kun muliras limo poy wanga kun makachisa glupor. Tong abag sinshan glupor ninong kili. Glupor chiwa ay glupor siya. Glupor pampa ki mulira kun king. Glupor chach tong itzalkat mama jiko na. Glupor ag inkotune. Glupor no glupor chachopa. Glupor bagwa shan konti machit Tong itmama jik. Glupor kakinja nawabakaon. Uf mala nibo. Glupor wanga kunbist. Tung abashun.
No problem. Got it. You with the Selkath? You here to see me about the murder, too? I told the damn fish everything I knew. What more do you all want from me? Sunry, I only heard of once or twice in passing. Some sort of old-time war hero against the Sith. Seen him around in the hotel, too. Going to Elasa's room always, of course. Kept the rest of the building up half the night with their damn antics usually. I'm not saying anything like that. What they did in that room in private is their business. And there isn't any rule against Sith and Republic seeing each other for personal reasons. Although if you think her Sith master didn't know, you must be fooling yourself. Oh, well, Elasa was a Sith, so of course she'd have to have someone above her. Yeah, I didn't see anything. Well, one time I saw Elasa coming in wearing this big cloak. I was on my way to my room, and she normally wears stuff like that, so I didn't pay her too much attention. But this time, I accidentally brushed up against her. Accidentally, of course. And her cloak fell open. Now, I don't have any qualms about the Sith. I leave them alone, and they leave me alone. And seeing as how Elassa had a Sith lightsaber under her cloak, I'm not going to poke that hornet's nest. Seems so. But I'm not getting myself in any further with the Sith. I know how ruthless they are. Now, that's all I'm going to tell you. I'll testify it to the court, but you aren't going to get anything else out of me.
You're the one defending Sunry now, huh? Well, the hotel's open for you. And I guess I gotta answer any questions you want, too. Elassa used to rent rooms here. It doesn't take... The Sith woman. He can't... Yeah... What do you want? Well,
You, Jedi. I hear you are investigating the Sunry murder trial, are you not? This case is not at all what it appears to be. Many currents, might I say, flow beneath the surface. This murder is much more complicated than it may first appear. The Sunry and Elassa are proxies for their governments, and both sides want the other to fail. You can see the journey by the footprints. You understand, yes? I'm saying they both had something to do with it. They've both kept their hands in this from the start. If you want to get to the bottom of this murder, you might seek information from both the Sith and the Republic, likely in their embassies. No, of course not. You think state secrets are for sale on the common market? You would have to be devious to get what you want. Heed my advice, Jedi, and you may yet find the truths in this murder.
Great! You slice the encryption on those cards. They change the codes regularly, so you'll have to use it pretty soon or not at all.
What? Yes?
I know you. You're the arbiter in the murder trial. Elassa was a friend of mine. If there's any justice in the galaxy, they'll feed Sunray to the Phyrexians. Shouldn't you be preparing for the trial? What are you doing here? You can ask, but I doubt you'll get many answers you'll like. I know he'd already be tried, convicted, and executed if the Selkath knew anything about justice. But the fish people are as weak as the Republic when it comes to such matters. Is there anything else? Who knows? Some scheming plot, no doubt. Hopefully the Selkath uncover it and ban the Republic from the planet. Is there anything else? I haven't the faintest clue as to what you're talking about. Is there anything else? Go. Stay. Doesn't matter to me. If you want to, you can even wander up to the embassy gates. But don't expect to get inside. I know. Shouldn't you? Ha! We know who we have business with. If you don't know how to get in, then we don't want anything to do with you. Now back off. Oh, really? You mean someone like you actually has some real purpose inside? Well then, what is it? Yes, well, I suppose you really do have some business here. Head on in.
You there. I don't recognize you. How did you get in here? You! I don't recognize you. I know the face of every Sith on this planet. We'll get to the bottom of this. Commander Gran, report to the security desk immediately. You authorized this person to enter. I don't know them. And their identification doesn't match up. They're spies.
What? Sound the alarm! Droids, destroy them! How'd you like that? How'd you like that?
You asked for this!
Not this
Warning, activating flow control may flood occupied chambers. Please enjoy. Warning, Warning, aborting. Warning. Warning. Aborting flow control. Warning.
You asked for this!
Buenas tardes,
Well, great. It can't be that hard to find proof of the Sith's activities, can it?
Just be careful with those gifts you've already learned. Beware the dark side, or you may end up betraying your world regardless.
How did you get in here? Wait, I recognize you. Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Terrace alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Well, let me guess. You intend to collect this reward, right? See? What did I tell you?
As you wish, my eager apprentices. We shall remove this thorn from Malak's side once and for all.
How'd you like that? So, Jolie, you decided to leave your little hermitage in the forest and come help us stop the Sith. I guess you realized this was worth coming out of retirement for, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Sonny. The Sith are the greatest evil to hit the galaxy since, well, the Mandalorians. And they're the worst thing since Exar Kun, blah blah blah, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, old man, you lost me there. Are you trying to make a point?
Look, everybody always figures the time they live in is the most epic, most important age to end all ages. But tyrants and heroes rise and fall, and historians sort out the pieces. Malak is a tyrant who should be stopped. If he conquers the galaxy, we're in for a couple of rough centuries. Eventually it'll come around again. But I'd rather not wait that long. So we do what we have to do, and we try to stop the Sith. But don't start thinking this war, your war, is more important than any other war just because you're in it.
That's an interesting theory, but I don't buy it. The Republic stands for something. It stood for something for 15,000 years, and if it falls, everything will change forever.
You believe whatever you need to get through this, Sonny. The bottom line is we both want to stop Malak. So let's not get hung up on the details. Let's just get back to stopping him. Hey, kid. That was a good thing you did there. Almost brought a tear to this old man's eye.
Glad to see we're still the good guys here. Sometimes I think we forget that.
Jolie, coming to check in on an old man? I must confess, I would rather you were here to speak to the warden and begin my trial.
Soon, old friend. We don't want to go to trial until we've got the whole picture.
Oh, I grow weary of staring at these four bare walls. But I suppose you know what you're doing. You know, the role of arbiter cannot be taken lightly. Well, I was at the hotel, I admit. And I did meet Alasa there that night, but it's not what you think. It was going... But Alasa was my war... Further, they say they found my... Obviously, anything else... Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing to hide. No, what this must look like, yes. Yes, we were having an affair. I know it was wrong, but I'm a weak man. Alasa was beautiful and young. How was I to resist her charms? But I didn't kill her. I loved her. Please. I know I made a terrible mistake getting involved with Alasa, but I was going there to break it off with her. I did it, but found out later that she was dead. I don't deserve to go to jail just for having an affair, do I? You have to help me prove that I wasn't the killer. Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing to hide. A Rhodian? I didn't know there were any Rhodians on Manaan. Oh, except for Tybark and this one named Glupar who's hanging around the hotel all the time. Okay, so Maybe there are a whole bunch of Rhodians on Manaan. But what does that matter? If he planted evidence at the scene, it's a clear sign of a frame-up. He probably took all the evidence of the real killer at the same time. The evidence of a Sith conspiracy keeps getting stronger, doesn't it? I suspect there's still stuff you want to clear up. Go ahead, ask. Ask what you need to. I've got nothing to hide. So the truth is out. I never meant to kill her, you know. When I found out she was a Sith spy using me to gain information, something inside me just snapped. She didn't know I had found out. So I waited until she fell asleep. And then I killed her. Simple, really. But once I realized what I'd done, I panicked. I contacted those spies from the Republic to help me. Found the illegal monitoring device that the Sith had planted in the room, altered its recording to hide my part in it, and cleared up the evidence. I figured that was the end of it. The Sith must have been spying on me and Alasa, trying to make sure she wasn't a double agent. They must have seen the Republic spies getting rid of all the evidence, so they planted their own evidence. Alasa must have stolen that hero's cross from me long ago and given it to her Sith masters like some kind of trophy. I just thought I'd misplaced it. But when the cross turned up on her body, I knew the Sith had put it there. So, now you know the whole story. What are you going to do? You think I'm some kind of monster, don't you? All I did was kill a Sith. How many Sith have you killed? Dozens? Hundreds? Thousands?
That's different, Sunry, and you know it. We don't kill them in cold blood while they sleep.
I don't see how the two of us are any different. She was a spy. She was using me to get information so Malak's army could destroy the Republic. She deserved his eye. If I confess, I'm looking at 20 years in prison. And the Arrow City officials might even place Kolto sanctions on the Republic Embassy. Without Kolto, how can we treat the injuries to our soldiers on the front lines? No, I can't do that. And put the Republic's supply of Kolto in danger. No, I won't. Look, I may have done something stupid, and it may only be worse for my standing by it, but I will not confess. If you turn me in, the Republic will likely lose its Kolto export privileges, and then we'll lose the war for sure. Are you going to send all those thousands, millions like Taurus to their deaths just for your sense of justice?
Sunry, this is wrong, and you know it. I am a Jedi. What is it that you expect me to do to defend your actions?
You do whatever you have to, Jolie. I know what I did, but I also know what's at stake here. No, I'll rot in here if I have to, but I won't betray the Republic. Do what you have to, but know what the consequences will be.
I hear you've been appointed as arbiter in Sunry's trial. My husband is innocent. Please don't let him go to jail for a crime he didn't commit. Lies! It must be! I knew the Sith would never let a Republic hero get away. You must find Sunry innocent. This is all a plot to discredit the Republic. Sunry is a victim of a Sith frame-up.
It's possible. I haven't seen Sunry since I crashed on Kashyyyk. The man can change a lot in that time. The man I knew could never have done this crime, however.
Find the real evidence. That's all I ask. The real evidence will prove Sunry didn't do this. I hear you've been appointed as... I started seeing Alasa last year. I had my suspicions for a while, but he was careless. Pretty soon everyone knew. But even though I'm sure that harlot was only using him, I know he couldn't have killed her. He came and confessed to the affair to me. He said he was going there to break it off, to end it. Maybe the Sith woman attacked him, and he had to defend himself. But even though he cheated on me, inside he's still the man I loved. Love. He's too kind and gentle to have killed her in cold blood. That was a long time ago, in a war far, far away. He's changed now, settled down. Oh, just please, prove his innocence. Find the real evidence. That's all I ask. The real evidence will prove Sunri didn't do this.
No. I'll rot in here if I have to. I won't betray the Republic. Do what you have to, but know what the consequences will be.
Have you managed to retrieve the data from our droid in the Sith base? Excellent. It does not appear to have been tampered with, so the Sith did not manage to copy its contents yet. And now for your information. We are not supposed to speak of this, but since you are a Jedi and we have exhausted all the other options, I think I can entrust you with this. As you know, the Republic is fighting for its very existence against the evil of the Sith Empire. As you also undoubtedly know, we're doing very poorly. We need much in the way of supplies and material to stem the tide of battle and bring us victory. Manaan is the sole source of Kolto, the most powerful medical substance in the galaxy. Frankly, we need as much of it as we can get. The Selkath conservatives, with their neutrality treaties, seek to treat the Sith and the Republic equally. This includes Kolto exports, but a few more far-sighted Selkath see that if the Sith are ever allowed to win, the galaxy will be plunged into darkness, and there would be nothing to stop them from taking Manaan anyway, so we made a deal. We recently began construction of a secret underground facility to harvest Kolto directly at its source. We also hope to one day be able to synthesize it effectively. Current techniques are insufficient for the task, so we must mine it for now. The amount we take would hardly be noticed, since most is lost naturally before it reaches the surface anyway. We were nearing completion of the base when the digging teams reported some sort of obstruction. An ancient building or artifact, possibly your star map. Transmissions from the base were cut off abruptly after that, and we haven't heard from the station since. As you may have noticed, we're hiring a lot of mercenaries around here. Ostensibly, they're to be shipped off-world to aid in our fight against the Sith, but they're really for another purpose. When we lost contact with the station in the Rackard Rift, we sent our contingent of Republic soldiers down to investigate. None returned. We've tried hiring mercenaries and sending them down as well, but none of those expeditions have returned either. The reason we really sent that droid underwater, and the reason we needed its data back so badly, was to find out what happened to the Rackard Rift station. But now that we have the data back, our operation is in no danger of exposure to the Sith. And now I must live up to my end of the bargain. I took the liberty of having a submarine prepared for your departure. Merely use this card to get past the door behind our Kolto packing room and enter the sub they're in. It has been programmed to take you down to the station, and also to take you back up should you need something. I would send soldiers to assist you, but we've lost many of ours, and nearly exhausted the mercenary population of this planet. The soldiers we have are barely enough to keep this base secure. The Sith have also noted our interest, and begun to bribe mercenaries away from us. Please, find out what happened to the facility. There may be some survivors left down there. Perhaps even the head scientist, Kono Nolan. Good luck in your efforts.
is an honor to see justice served, and I will see Sunry is executed for the crime he has committed.
The man I saw leaving, Sunry, probably left after I heard the blaster shot.
The guilt of the accused is apparent even this early in the trial. You are Firith Me, the well-known Pazak player. I wonder if we can trust... Of course, Your Honor. Firith Me, what did you see the night of the murder?
Well, I came out into the hallway after hearing the blaster shot and saw Sunry over there limping down the hall out of the building.
A very obvious point, Your Honors. The accused was seen leaving the scene of the crime after the blaster that killed Elassa was fired.
You mean actually see him kill her with my own eyes? Well, no, but I don't think there could have been anyone else there. Yes, from what I could tell, she carried a lightsaber under that cloak of hers.
Objection! That doesn't prove she was a Jedi. Glupor the Rhodian, you were staying in the hotel the night of the murder and saw Sunry leaving Elassa's room, didn't you? This is clear, then, that Sunry left the room with the Sith Elassa already dead behind him.
Glupor.
Don't do it, Glupor.
Glupor kan kindavik nibora tonchitsa.
Lies! Slander! I object!
Glupor wonki. Glupor tanghi mamaji glupor aki ukotunsit. Glupor no mulira chuni mulira chubaka chupa glupor. Chawa whiskies. Glupor ka chopa chawa wisyun kun. Glupor kan kindavik nibora tong.
You, Elora, are Sunry's lawful wife. Your husband was a hero in the last war between the Sith Empire and the Republic. He was crippled in that war. Do you not believe he'd blame the Sith for his injury?
Yes. I guess he would.
And there you have motive. Sunry seeks revenge on the Sith for what they did to him and killed Elasa.
Yes. Yes, it was true. He was having an affair with that Sith harlot.
It seems painfully obvious that he killed her to keep her quiet about the affair.
He'd been seeing her for some time, I think. But he said he was going to change. He'd gone there that night to end it. We talked the night before and he'd promised. But now things have become so very complicated. Yes, he fought against the Sith in the last war. He fought bravely and was even awarded the Hero's Cross. I don't know how much that means to the Sith or to your Selkath, your honors. But in the Republic, it is awarded only to the bravest, most valorous, most honorable men. The kind of man who earns that medal would not kill someone in cold
I wish to call forth Sunry himself, your honors. Are you a war hero, Mr. Sunry? You fought in wars against the Sith Empire, correct?
Yes, that's right. And I don't regret it either. The Republic needs its heroes.
Indeed. Would you say that you dislike the Sith? Even hate them?
Of course I hate them. Trying to take over the galaxy every chance they get, killing millions of innocents?
Pure politics. Were you in Elasa's room on the night of the murder?
Well, yes, I was. I had been having an affair with Elasa and my wife, yes. But I realized how wrong I'd been, and I was going there to end it.
You were having an affair with a Sith. You wanted to end it quickly and quietly, so you killed her from behind and tried to flee.
No,
I think we can see the answer clear enough, Mr. Sunry.
Of course she was. Why would a young, beautiful Sith woman get with an old cripple like me? I don't know. The medal had gone missing some time ago. I never found out what happened to it. It's possible the Sith had stolen it and had it planted on the body.
Supposition, your honors?
Yes, I think they would. They wouldn't want to lose one of their sources, even though I didn't give them anything. They might have killed her for her failure. Or they might have thought she'd turn against them or something like that.
The Sith Empire is not the barbaric institution you portray it to be. I think the facts in this case are very straightforward. Sunry was having an affair with Elasa. he sought to end it, and the simplest, quickest method, given his hatred of the Sith, was to simply kill her. Witnesses saw Sunry fleeing the scene, and material evidence places him there at the time of the murder as well. I am confident that any informed observation of the facts will lead the judges, your honors, to this very conclusion. Well, that doesn't mean a thing. He was there, running from the room. The Sith would not leave the medal of her killer clutched in her hand. Your honors, no!
I knew you wouldn't let the Republic down.
Oh, Sunry, I'm so glad.
Elora, thank you for saving me. I don't know how I can repay you. Elora and I are going to leave here and get as far away from all this as soon as we can. I and the Republic will not forget what you've done for us. Thank you.
Rift is a source of Kolto? Why would the Republic risk so much to send troops there? I don't get it.
How did you get in? Did they send another submersible? Quick, we have to get out of here. We have to get away. No! No, we have no time. We have to leave now. I managed to close the door after they killed everyone else, but I don't know how long it will hold. We have to! We have to leave! The Cellcath, they went crazy. They started killing anything that moved. Someone must have triggered the defense systems too, because all the droids activated as well. I was one of the mercs the Republic sent down here to find out what happened. We came down and secured the first couple of rooms. There were bodies everywhere, and the Cellcath came out, screaming and croaking their fishy little war cries. They swarmed out and over us. There was no way we could stop them. So we ran. But hardly any of us made it. I locked the door behind us, but the others had already left in the submersible. The sharks. The Feroxa out there, and worse. I heard an explosion shortly after the submersible left. They didn't make it. Just food for the sharks and the Cellcath. Like us. No! I locked the door so the Cellcath won't get in. If you open it, we're all done for. If you go in there, you're dead. You're all dead. If you want to die, then go. You won't hear me mourning for you. I'll stay here and be safe until some sort of real rescue comes.
No problem. Got it. No problem. Got it.
Is somebody out there? Fishy, fishy, fishy. Come and eat me too. You can't get me, little fishy. Not in here. I'm safe behind my walls. Investigate. You're just like the others. Fodder for the Selkath. Walking fish snacks. Trump, trump, trump. If you can run, you might be fast food.
The Selkath went insane and started killing everybody. I locked myself in here. I'm safe in here. Nothing can hurt me in here. No fishy food for me. No, 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 no. That's what the others said. Mercenaries like you. But they're dead. The Selkath ate them. Lunchy munchy. Only the ones left in the south part of the base might still be alive, or where the Kolto is. A few fishies there. And many, many, many fishies in between the water. No, no. Only the one. Don't know. Go ask them. When the demon screamed, it shook every mind in the station. We fell to the ground but survived. Fishy fishies, though, they just got hungry. Bye-bye. Go look for fishy people. They'll chomp and bite and chomp and bite. Food for fishy. That's you.
What can I... do?
No problem. Didn't work.
Who's there? You're not Selkath, I can see that much. Are you another rescue crew? I'm a merc the Republic hired a couple days ago to investigate. But all we found was a bunch of insane Selkath killing everything that moves. All my companions are dead. The Selkath swarmed over us. There were dozens of them. And they looked wrong, somehow. like something had changed inside them. Insane or something. Oh, I'd have gone back to the surface long ago if this complex hadn't been overrun by all those crazy cell caths. There's no way for me to get to the submarine docking bay. I discovered a way to get to the bay and seal off the rest of the base. I just have to find the Kolto harvester they built on the edge of the Harakert Rift. It's got an emergency override to open the doors to the submarine docking bay. And I could get in from the outside. I figured my only chance was to slap on an environment suit, head out onto the ocean floor, and check that harvester out for myself. Besides, it's gotta be safer out on the ocean floor than back in there with all those crazed cell-cath mutants running around looking for dinner. I'm not spending another minute in this facility. Not with those psychotic fish people all over the place. I'm heading out to the ocean floor right now. It leads to another complex of buildings. Going through them is the only way to reach the Kolto harvester. We should probably stick together, but I won't wait around in here with the cell cath. You can catch up with me if you want. Down the hall and through the doors on the right. I'll be waiting on the ocean floor where it's safe.
Don't just stand there, we have to keep moving. The water is filled with... Ow! Ah!
No, you can't come in here. You'll let the Pharaxa and the Selkath in. No, stay out! Stay out! I won't let you open the door for those monsters to get in. I'll stop you. I'll suck all the pressure out of the chamber. That'll stop you.
Kill them! Kill them now!
60 seconds to complete depressurization. 54 seconds to complete.
No. The Pharaxa will get us. No, the Selkath are coming. No!
No! Ah!
I'm sorry for what I did. I don't know what came over me. I just panicked when I heard someone outside the door. Please forgive me. I'm just so scared.
We're both just scared.
When the Selkath went crazy, I thought everyone else except me and Sammy went mad. We had a few people outside the station when it happened.
The Frags and Sharks just tore them apart. It was like they were frenzied.
The next thing we knew, our Selkath researchers started screaming and clawing at everything around them. My team was torn apart and eaten before my eyes. Sammy and me, I thought we were the only ones left. We heard the Selkath outside the doors every once in a while, and strange noises echoing through the base.
We thought everyone was dead or insane. I must have been hysterical. I don't know what I can say. I truly apologize for the horrible mistake I was making.
I'm Kono Nolan, and this is Sammy. We were scientists working here on the Harakard Rift project.
We don't know. Not for sure.
The work teams were outside in the rift, near the vent. Then there was this rumbling, and my head felt like it was splitting open.
This monster rose up from the rift.
It was a Pharaxa shark, I think. Bigger than anything I'd ever seen before. Bigger than our submersibles.
It was like it was screaming inside my head.
Then all the Selkaths started screaming too. And they turned on us. It was like they couldn't control themselves. Like the sound that the monster was making in our heads drove them insane.
Well, maybe it was protecting the ruins by the rift.
It could have been. It might have a lair in the Harakard Rift near the Kolto vent. That might explain a few things, too. Like why it reacted so violently when our construction efforts got closer to the vent. And also, why it's so large. It must be feeding off the Kolto. Would have to be ancient indeed for it to reach that size. With Kolto as a food source.
And all those other Phyraxan sharks? Those might be its offspring.
Which would be why they all swarmed when it called out to them. Children coming to protect their mother. The Phyraxan sharks have always been a serious problem. We had some blasters and projectile cannons to defend against them, but they still got some of our workers from time to time.
We were working on a soluble chemical compound that would drive them away. Something that smelled or tasted repulsive to them, but we never got it working right.
Oh, I think not. Even flawed like it is, it should be ideal for this situation.
No, it's not working right. You don't know what it'll do. The repellent we made was supposed to drive Phyraxan sharks away, but we never got very far in its development. The one we tested instead was violently toxic to them, rupturing their outer skin in seconds and preventing them from drawing oxygen from the water by clogging their intakes.
Which is exactly what we need in this situation. Something to kill that monster shark that destroyed our station.
But we don't know how else the chemical reacts. We only tried it in a controlled environment. In the open ocean, who knows what it could do? It could even affect the Kolto.
We know exactly what it'll do. It'll kill the shark. That's what we designed it to do. You don't need to do anything else. We have a canister of the toxin here right now. We were working on it before the giant Phyraxan drove all the Selkath insane. All you need to do is insert it into the main Kolto harvester and have it vented. Get away as soon as you can. We don't know how much worse it'll affect the giant Phyraxan shark.
Well, the monster seems to have been driven out by the machinery we installed at the edge of the rift. We've seen it out there on the cameras, bashing itself against the machines. I think if you could destroy the machinery we installed, the shark would calm down and retreat back into its lair inside the rift. You can reprogram the harvesting machines to overpressure their self-oxidizing fuel so that the fuel tank canisters will rupture and the entire machine will destroy itself. The hydrolium gas we use is a gas at 1 to 3 million sangin, a liquid at about 4 million sangin, and a solid above that. When it's a liquid, it's very explosive. If you inject enough of the hydrolium gas into the tank, the pressure will be so great that it'll turn to liquid form and start a chain reaction inside the machine.
But we'll lose everything we've built here. All those years of work.
It's better than whatever your chemical will do to the water. Good. Destroying the machinery will be better in the long run. We can't risk damaging the environment or the Kolto. You'll have to break into the computer on the harvesting machine and fiddle with the fuel injectors to get the tank pressure up to the point where the hydrolium will liquidize. Once the machinery is gone, the shark should leave.
That won't work and you know it. We have to vent the toxin from the harvesting machine. Once the shark is dead, we can get back to mining the Kolto. You know what you have to do.
I just hope you make the right choice.
Didn't work.
We saw what you did out there on the cameras. Destroying the machinery was the right thing to do for everyone. That creature, the giant Firaxan shark, the guardian of the Kolto or whatever it was, seems to have calmed down a lot. It may even be safe to go outside now, but we'll stay here and wait for the Republic rescue crews. Thank you for not making a huge mistake.
I saw what happened on the camera, and I can't believe what you did. How could you willfully destroy the Kolto harvesting machinery? That'll set us back years. I'll have you know that when we get back to the surface, I'll have the Republic do a full inquiry into your actions. Now go back to the surface and get the Republic to send a real rescue team down for us.
Someone else had killed you and deprived me of the pleasure. You may have defeated a pathetic bounty hunter my master sent after you, but you are no match for me. I have studied at the foot of the Dark Lord himself. Do you think those Republic subs are the only way to reach the ocean floor? Malik and Revan found a way down here long before the Rackard station was built. I acquired a ship and followed the same route Revan and my master used on their own journey. Then it was simply a matter of waiting for you to return for the star map. Your words mean nothing to me, unless you wish to beg for your life. No? Then I shall try to make this both quick and painful.
You've returned. I was beginning to fear that you too might have been lost. Did you find out what had happened down there at the facility? Something was down there? Living in the rift by the Kolto? It's horrible. The entire operation wasted by a disaster we could never in 1,000 years have foreseen. What has happened to the facility itself? Were there any survivors? Well, that's good to know. Good to know indeed. But what has happened to the facility? Was it damaged? No, that is terrible. That will set our work back years. It may even cost us the war. While I am glad that you were able to solve our problems, the cost may have ended up being much too high. But you have done your job and helped us in our time of need. And for that I thank you. Oh, and did you end up finding your star map? As you can see, by helping us, you helped yourself. Perhaps we can work together again in the future.
Yeah, what do you want? Your turn.
Got something on your mind, dude? Innocent. I don't know what to make of it, to tell the truth. Do you think justice has been done? But that has little to do with the law, doesn't it? A sad state of affairs, that. Too bad, really. Sunry was a good man once. I don't want to talk about this anymore. My jaw aches. Got something on your mind? Bad men. Women, too, to be fair. Oh, indeed. They make a fine sandwich, also. But don't tell the Jedi Council I said that. And just what gave you the impression that I know anything more about the Sith than you do? Oh, that's right. Damn the years of the young. I was expecting you to be your usual inattentive self when I mentioned that. So it's true, yes. I fought plenty of Sith. That was during the time of Exar Kun. Oh, 40 years ago now. Has it been that long? Exar was a Jedi who was corrupted by ghosts of the old Sith, or so they say. He attempted to conquer the Republic and create a new golden age of the Sith. Better to say he was defeated, but essentially, yes. The victory did not come easily, however. No, of course not. The Sith have come and gone for ages. They were not called the Sith many thousands of years ago, perhaps, but the dark side was always present, without a doubt. Oh, sure, occasionally the light side comes close to vanquishing the dark, but the dark always returns. The fact that Exar Kun was defeated didn't mean the Sith would never return, as they obviously have now. Everyone knows that. That is not a pleasant time to remember. After Exar Kun fell to the dark side, he attempted to recruit other Jedi to his cause. What surprised us, what took us completely unprepared, was how utterly successful he was. Many Jedi joined him and became Sith themselves. Why they did, I will never truly know, but they did. Battle broke out throughout the Order, pupil against master. We fought ourselves. Yes, more than difficult. Next to impossible. How do you fight against someone you love? Pah, I dislike such memories. It leaves a taste in the mouth that... it is a sadness I thought I had put aside long ago. Ask me about the war some other time, just not now. I would prefer to be by myself for now.
Yes. What is it? I was remembering Taris. No, it's all right. I think I'm over the worst of it. I apologize again for lashing out at you. It was not your fault. It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor. There was always the danger of Rakuls coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human. The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order, the one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians, she was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point, if there even was one. Sometimes I curse the day my parents fled to Taris, but then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today. Another story for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic, to save the galaxy, if we can. How may I be of assistance? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Well, I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that. In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds. Cathar was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran. They swooped down from space across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed. We were not members of the Republic. Cathar was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the first war against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships there remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it. My parents carried me as a baby with them and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard. My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives, but we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die. Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now. How may I be of assistance? What is it you would like to speak to me about? I have been doing well, I suppose. As well as I can. But I am more interested in you right now. Do not mistake me. It is just that, even though we have traveled together for a while, it seems I know next to nothing about you personally. We have been traveling together since Dantooine, but I know nothing of you before that. Would you humor me and tell me a little bit about yourself? Your job, your childhood, your life? I am sorry if I am making you uncomfortable. I will fully understand if you choose not to answer. I greatly appreciate your taking the time to talk to me. How did you come to be on Dantooine? Besides the obvious, of course. Taris. It always seems to come back to Taris for me. I am sorry. I get distracted. What did you do before that? A life in the army. Not my career of choice, though. We Cathar cannot seem to adjust to regimented organizations like the military. But I have heard that it appeals to males of your species. Fighting? Defending? That is what we as Jedi seem to be called upon to do. Perhaps we are not as unalike as I had previously thought. But again, I seem to be wasting your time with my carrying on. I apologize. I have been watching you for some time. I wonder if you have noticed. I have been thinking of how far I had fallen, and how you exemplify the code of the Jedi. I find myself ashamed. That I had so easily fallen to the dark side, that I could convince myself that by injuring my master, I became a great force of evil in the galaxy for my pride, my hubris, for the inner rage that all of my species feels. Sometimes I wish that I had not been born this way. I am sorry. I start to talk, thinking about how you stay strong to the path of virtue and justice, and I find myself whining again about my own inadequacies. The Council would be proud to see that you had learned your lessons so well. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course.
Got something on your mind? Oh,
What do you need? Talk about what? The only thing I want to do right now is find Dustle. If he's alive, there's just nothing else I want to think about. I'll understand if we can't look for him right now, but if we could, it would be a huge load off my mind.
How can I help? Then I suggest we move on.